Welcome to St Mary's Hospital on London Road, Ketchin today, where this is Sue Johnson from the communications team at NHFT, and today I'm here with...
Hello, my name is Ray Nunes and I am the grounds maintenance person for St Mary's Hospital Ketchin, and I do the whole of the grounds, look after them. How's that?
And how long have you worked at the NHS, Ray?
I've been working for the NHS for 48 years, doing the same job, or variations on the job.
Wow. And is there something in particular that you like to do each day, or do you have a favourite part of your job?
No, I do. I have a set routine. I do this time of the year. It's mainly hoeing, cutting back and trimming, and all round. And because with the recent rain we've had a lot of weeds coming up, so I'm having to keep on top of them. Before I left school, I wanted to be everything. But then, my father was a keen gardener, and we had a big garden at home, and consequently, when I was at leave school, everybody was talking about joining the forces, because back in the 60s, everybody joined the forces, and everybody wanted to be where the money was. And so they've been either into sport, because everybody was keen on football, and consequently, everybody wanted to be, and I was keen to do gardening. I wanted an outside job. I wanted to really be outside, you know. So I'll do farming. I didn't want to talk about farming, so I thought, well, I'll do gardening. So we tried to get in all round. So the careers master said, oh, he said, no, there's no money in gardening. He said, you want to be an electrician or a plumber. I decided I wouldn't want to be that sort of thing, because that's mainly inside. So consequently, so when he said, so we applied, and consequently, when word got out, he said I'd arrange a job to Wadno House near Oundle, a big country house. That belonged to Crown Wallpapers and Paints Manufacturing. So when I got home after the holidays, there was a chap, the bursar there. He got to, he said, I understand you're interested in gardening. So yeah, he said, would you like to come and do, instead of taking a holiday, a school holiday, would you like to come and do try the job out? I said, yeah, why not? It's a big 7-acre estate with a big country house, and the main building was for training sales reps and selling wallpaper and that. So I did that, and I thought, yeah. He said, when you finish the holidays, you can start straight away, which I did do. And so consequently, when I was doing there, the job was getting, and the money was poor, and so my father said, oh, you want to put him for a rise? So he said, okay, I'll ask him. So we had a new bursar called Bursar those days, not Boss's, Bursar, and his wife running the show. We grew vegetables in the walled garden, and we looked after the grounds. We had ride-on mowers and that sort of thing. And consequently, and I tell you what, we used to wash cars on a Friday for the sales bosses. And so consequently, that's how I learnt to drive. And we had the old Zephyr 60s those days, and the consoles and the old Cortinas and that sort of thing. Anyway, so consequently, I went to see him. I said, can I have a word with you, Mr. What his name is? And he said, I told him what I want, so I threatened to leave. I said, oh no, Ray, you can't leave. He said, because you're too valuable. Because my boss, there's only two of us, me and George, and so consequently, I said, well, I'm sorry, but things are getting retired. Because Howard Wilson was bombers those days, and so consequently, he said, oh no, he said, you're too valuable, and his missus looking, she said, oh, well, things are tired, because Wilson was on about not giving people rises. So I said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to, you know, hand in my notice. They said, oh no, don't do that. So I writ it out, and I handed it in, so there you are. And they said, oh, sorry to see you. They didn't try and stop me. So my father said, oh, you'll have to get another job working. So those days, jobs were in the Evening Telegraph. So this was advertised. And so consequently, I was only 18 at the time. So consequently, I came here and I saw the head garden. He said, oh yeah, he said, we're looking for somebody. But he said, they're not taking anybody on yet. I said, well, you got the advert. He said, yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll give you a call when you're ready. So in the meantime, you know, I was still working there and doing my notice. So kind of, I got a letter said, Mr. Nunes, would you like to come and put into it? I said, yeah. So I came and had an interview, and they said, I told them my skills, because I was very skilled those days. And so consequently he said, yeah, when can you start? I said, Monday. Next Monday's running. He said, yeah, come. So I came and he said, oh right, he said, so you started at the bottom, those days you started at the bottom of the ladder. So consequently I was pushing, sweeping up and pushing, and we had another chap who was boss and he showed me, so I said, yeah, I know what to do. So, but I let him think. And then they left retired and all that sort of thing. So then I was uprated to propagate a gardener. And that meant sowing seed and taking cuttings and that sort of thing. So I loved it. Because he was out, he used to do the rounds of because those days we had Icebrook Hospital, Ruston Hospital, and we were run from the General. We were those days, because it was Kettering District hospitals. So consequently, we used to go up there and do things, and we were on to England. And we also owned Corby. What is the Willowbrook was not sort of Willowbrook those days, it was something else, but it's Corby. And we used to do the grounds there. And Ralph and Martin's come down to the General on a Thursday and help us out. So consequently, and so I used to do the grounds, and when the people that I used to come out and do the grounds, and those days we had a show garden in the front, and we had flowers, and we had a lawn, not a bit of grass, we had a proper lawn with stripes, and way beside you, if we had a posh mower, and I was the driver of the posh mower, and it was a cylinder mower, because everybody outside the rotary mornings, when the weather was right and the grass was dry, we cut the grass, and I was in charge of this posh lawnmower. It's a Ransom's Auto Surtees cylinder mower. Consequently, and I had a job of cutting the front. That's my job to cut the front. And consequently, we had flower beds all the way round and hedge round there. And my boss, he wanted it to have straight lines. When you come in, you can look down the row and see all the line. And way beside you, if you didn't get the line straight, because he'd come up and he'd go like that, because we had them two conifers, what are now there, the tree of lights and that other one, was the markers. And you had to get, and there was a concrete post either side, and you had to line it up. And you had to then look at the grass, you looked at the bollard in front of you, and do it. And consequently, you had to cut it nice and straight. And he'd come up and stand behind you and watch you cut it. And as a sort of a new boy, within 3 years of working it was a bit of a frightening job, because he was a strict taskmaster, he was, because he wanted everything just so. And so kind of, he'd go like that, he'd look down the line, he'd go like that, so it was straight. And then next week to come along, I had to edge all the beds. Once I'd done edge all the beds up and that sort of thing, then clear weed the centre and that sort of thing. And then the next week you come to cut the grass, you had to go straight down the first one, because if you didn't, when you're doing lines, if you don't keep down the like rail tracks, you'll find the lines shade one side and like the other. And you find you look down and say, who the hell did cut that? You didn't cut that right, did you? I say, yes, Jeff, I did. But he said, oh, you should have kept it. So you have to keep to the straight lines, you do. And keep to the end, and that sort of and it was always just good. And we always had to put a box on, because everybody, people don't put a box, they plough it like you just from grass mowing, and if it was long, you put a box on, and that sort of thing. So consequently, it was always a posh mower with a box on. And that was it.
So it's clear, Ray, you've got a lot of experience in gardening.
I have.
And that you really enjoy it.
I do.
One of the things I wanted to ask you was, what's the benefits to your health and well-being?
The benefit, they talk about exercise and being outside and all that sort of stuff. And they say, oh, doing hot exercise, they don't include gardening as exercise for some unknown reason, because the fresh air is all right, and you get out all weathers. You're not stuck in the rain or the snow or the sunshine. And with the sunshine, it's all right. If you're not a sunshine person or a hot weather person, you keep in shape. But I like the sun. I love the sun, and it does you good. At my age, I still think I'm 21 again.
Right, could you tell us some top tips for people to maintain a healthy garden at home, an easy garden at home?
An easy garden is don't try and grow stuff that won't grow in your garden. You want to grow stuff that grows easy. Consequently, like you want to grow what's more saying, like buddleia. Get some buddleia plants, the butterfly bush. They will grow 6 foot in a year, and consequently they will fill your garden up. And don't like people with new houses, they have it all grass. And they say, oh, I've got a lawn. Well, no, you haven't got a big. If you've got children and dogs, you've got grass. Lawns are for stripes and for not walking on. Hypericum, this is buddleia. That's buddleia. That butterfly bush, the butterfly bush. Then you've got to forsythia behind, that comes out yellow flowers in the spring, and you cut them back when it's finished flowering. The Star of Jerusalem, the Hypericum, it's good. That's a tough old customer. And you got another buddleia. Buddleias are very well, and consequently, you got choicea. The green bush there is choicea, and that has yellow flower, and that's got a strong scent.
Oh, I've got those in the garden. That's
Choicea.
beautiful scent, isn't it?
The Mexicana choicea, which is gold.
Yeah.
And it has a nice white flower, and it's very high perfumed. What is that smell like?
It is a beautiful smell.
Yeah,
what about if someone's got perhaps a courtyard type garden, in pots?
Tubs. If you're going to grow tubs, you want to get stone ones. I know they're a bit expensive, but plastic ones get too warm with the weather, they crack, unless they're tough plastic ones. But what you want to do, and it's just get this time of the year, it's perfect for geraniums, petunias, and lobelia. Put the lobelia around the outside. You want a canna in the middle, or something similar, as a foliage plant, and you put geraniums around the outside. Bright red geraniums is ideal for hot weather, so is petunias. And marigolds, small French marigolds, or the big African ones, but tubs are easy to look after, and if you've got a courtyard with a paved area, they are ideal for that sort of thing. But you've got to keep them well wood. Hanging baskets, yes, very nice, but I mean, unless you can water them twice a day, morning before the sun gets on, or late in the afternoon or evening, then, and you want to grow ones that don't suit the sun, you want in the shade. Fuchsias and that sort of thing want to be in the shade. Geraniums, ivy, and that sort of thing is ideal for the sunshine.